Like, what is it that Sharif Cooper hasn't done that I can say he should do to say he's done it all?
He won that championship. That was it.
Everything. He's done everything. He's scored a lot of assists.
The only thing that can cap off his career is becoming Mr. Basketball.
So why is it that when I watch Juwan Odom, did I feel like he's the best player? Every time I watch Juwan Odom play, I feel like I'm seeing something special. Like I'm seeing something that I'm not gonna maybe not see again. I said that for a long time. BJ Boston was my favorite high school player in Georgia. I don't get that feeling that I'm seeing something I'll never see again. It's the Love of the Game podcast. We in the building. We here. Y'all know what time it is. It's early. Earlier than what we used to go on, but you know, I mean, today is a hood holiday, so I feel like it's worth kind of going early.
Yes, sir.
Today is Tuesday. Locke, I feel like I already know who you going with.
Hey man, Trav know where I'm from. He know about where I'm from. Come on, man. Hey man, he know about them sticks, man. That's all we do. Listen to Goo-Wop.
I don't want to make a prediction. Here's what I want to. I want Jeezy and Gucci to publicly make peace in front of everybody and really celebrate, you know what I'm saying, the following and the music that they was able to make. Like, I don't want to see, you know what I mean, eating I don't want to see no entourages. Like, I don't want to see nothing even close to an altercation or beef. Like, I want it to be them kind of dapping it up. Like, I'd appreciate seeing them dapping it up in public in front of everybody.
No, that'll be dope, man.
I know you came for the drama lock.
Huh?
I know you came for the drama lock, but you know.
Nah, I can't, man. Honestly, I can't hear. I want to hear one song tonight. I gotta hear First Day Out. There's like a Negro ritual. Like hymn. It's like a Negro hymn. A Negro hymn. That the first day out can be played from when you get off, you know, when you go on vacation, when you get out of school, when you get out of jail. It's meant for a lot of things.
Okay.
So
I mean, I'm with you.
He has to play that.
I feel like that's gonna get played. It's a lot of songs, especially from the Jeezy albums that I really want to hear. You know what I'm saying? But I just want them to celebrate the music. We will be scoring the event, and for those that haven't seen, we will have a reaction show tonight immediately following the versus battle. You know, we're gonna score it out. I know Locke is gonna be biased for Gucci, but we're gonna score it, and then we're gonna let you guys jump in and tell us what your thoughts are and what we saw. 20 songs can always surprise you. You never know with 20 songs.
Travis, who you got?
Man, I'm a Jeezy guy. I'm gonna ride with Young Jeezy.
Okay.
Coach makes a lot of sense. Smart man, dog. That's why he's so good.
Yeah, hey, Jeezy take me back to the college days.
Somebody during college.
Yeah. You know.
So for those who don't know, we got Coach Travis McDaniel here rolling with us. Head coach at Wanda Barrow. Coach, hey man, listen, a lot of eyes and a lot of expectations following y'all this year, man. So I hope you're ready for the spotlight, because you know now Lock will pub you up, man. But y'all lose a couple games, man. Lock might be on your head, Coach.
Yeah, nah. I expect that. I expect them to. we got a good group, man. We got some talented kids. I don't know what Winers had the past, 10, 15 years, but I know at least the past 7 or 8, it's got to be the most talented group they put together collectively, top to bottom. Really helped out by a big time move in, Wyatt Fricks. And, I think, we got a chance to compete against some of the better teams for sure.
I agree. Coach, we're going to get to all of that, man. But we have a lot of coaches on this show, and it's a lot of coaches that come on here and just talk about their program. But, Coach, you a hoop head. You're a real live hoop head. So, you know what I mean? You could talk more basketball than just about your program. So, like, we got to we got to talk about the draft a little bit, at least. Locke, you want to get your shit off Reggie Perry in the league?
Hey, man, I'm happy, man. Finally, South got something to say.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to Isaac Okuru's draft party at Lifestyle last night. Oh, man.
Locke,
Man,
what did you
man.
wear to the draft party last night? That's what I want to know. What'd you wear? What'd you fall out in?
I wore jeans. I wore my bomber jacket, t-shirt, just kept it simple, man. Some boots. Just kept it real simple.
I kind of felt like you might have been full suit, dog. I felt like you might have been suited, dog. What happened?
I wasn't getting drafted.
True.
Hey, what were the Regals being poured, dog? What was going on, dog?
They was getting poured, fish, eating salmon, tacos, eating good, drinking good, man. It was a good vibe, man. It was just good to see, a lot of his former players, guys that in the Cobb County area, there was all that support him. So it was good, man. It was good to see his mom. I finally saw his parents. I never saw Isaac Okuru parents before.
I never have you to the video camera.
Yeah, so I think he ended up buying his dad a Range Rover or stuff like that. So man, it was just exciting, man. Good environment, a lot of hoop heads. That was my first like legit party. Going to see somebody that's in the lottery. So I definitely had a good time. I probably had a little too many Regals than I wanted because I was tasting some crazy stuff last night.
It'll do it.
Hey, Coach, that's why Locke not a head coach yet, man. That's
I don't want to be coach. Hey, Travis worked my first camp. That's what I do.
Yeah.
You worked the first camp, yeah.
Coach, what was your thoughts on the draft last night? A lot of Georgia kids, a lot of kids coached against, been around, seen up close. What was your thoughts on the draft last night?
Man, I thought it was just great to see Georgia. We had those 3 in the top 11. Man, talking about the Devin Vassell, man, I got to tell you the story, man. It's crazy. Like, I saw y'all posted what CY had said, right, about how people were laughing at him. And look, I got to be real. Like, we were at Discovery. We went against him as a junior. He averaged like 12 a game. We were like, man, he's a good player. But when he got FSU, we were in the office like, yo, hey, ain't no way. Like, this kid can't play at FSU. And then I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be real. Something happened with that boy between spring and summer of senior year. Because, man, I put the tape back on as a senior to start scouting. Because Coach let me do a lot of scout stuff. I walked in the office. I said, hey, Coach, he's good enough for FSU. He came back as a senior, dog. And I'm telling you, averaged like 22 a game in Gwinnett, Region Player of the Year. And, bro, I'll never forget scouting him one time over Christmas break. Had a film on. This dude shoots a 3. It rims out. He tip dunks his own miss from 3.
Ooh.
Bro, I bet I ran it back 10 times. Like, in this play. Shot a 3, rimmed out, in and out, came down, one hand, hammer. I said, yeah, this dude's for real, man. And he was awesome as a senior, man. He came back, he was a dog. He was rebounding, blocking shots, hitting jumpers, man. He was a bad boy that senior year. And we kind of went back like, dang, see what I knew what he was talking about.
Now, you done seen a lot of guys come out of that Gwinnett County area, man. Where do you feel like Devin ranks amongst those guys, man, that came out? CY said that when he saw him, he felt like he was kind of in the same mode as Jeremy Lamb.
Yeah, So I got a guy. that was actually close to the Florida State staff. And like when they offered him, I texted him and I said, "Hey man, I'll just offer, Devin Vassell." And he was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Man, CY loves him. He thinks he got great potential." He's like, he thinks in 2 or 3 years he's a first round pick. I was like, "Really?" Now this coming off junior year. I'm like, he's good. He's a definite Division I player. I said, but man, like, I don't. That's high praise now. And lo and behold, here we are 3 years later, and we're winning number 11 in the draft. I mean, so for CY, man, that's a hell of an eye to be able to see that. And yeah, I think he checks the box with a lot of Jeremy Lamb comparisons. 6'5", 6'6", great length. Somewhat of a late bloomer. I think the story with Jeremy Lamb is he didn't even play varsity till senior year. And for Devin, he was on varsity and playing, but he made that significant jump between junior and senior year. So I definitely can see that, man. And I watched a lot of Florida State games when he was there, man. That joker is relentless defensively. I mean, a lot of stuff on the draft boards were he's the best on-ball defender and one of the best off-ball defenders. On top of shooting 39, 40% from three. I mean, that's tough.
For sure. Like you said, when you have that type of length and when you can shoot the ball, especially, coming out of Florida State, that you're going to learn how to defend the right way. And I feel like that's why so many of their guys can get to the league anyways, because you know how to defend at a high level.
Right.
You add that shooting on top of that, some athleticism, man, and you got a pro player. I think teams are starting to get it, man. To me, it's I think people understand it's the casual basketball fan may only pay attention to 10 guys in the league. It's they only pay attention to stars. But 85%, 90% of the NBA is all role players.
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're drafting guys that not everybody is a star, but can you be a key contributor? Can you be a role player on a good team? And a lot of guys get drafted to make a lot of money being good role players, man. And I think teams are starting to look for those intangibles in different kids. But man, I was happy, man. Anybody got any thoughts on Collin Sexton and Isaac playing together in Cleveland?
It's crazy.
Who would have thought, bro? 2 kids from Powder Springs playing for the Cavs together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome.
The program is just the area of Cobb County producing the basketball talent. It's going to be so many Cobb County kids in the league. I told you, I got Sharif going in 2 years. Calling it early.
I could jump on board with that.
I just saw a crazy tweet, bro. The Jeezy Gucci Man battle is going to be held at Magic City.
Hey, it's only right.
It is only right. That is so better, bro.
Get the Lou Will wings while you're there.
Get the Lou.
Facts. That is only right. 2 kids, man. 2 kids from Powder Springs, man, right there in Cobb County, right suburb of Atlanta, playing for the Cleveland Cavaliers. Talking about drafted that high too to go play in Cleveland. I think they're gonna be good together. I think when we talk about 3-and-D guys, I think Isaac is gonna be a great 3-and-D guy in the NBA. We know he can defend. Guy could probably defend 4 positions. You know what I mean? In an elite way. Talk about that athleticism, his ability to finish at the rim. One thing I feel like the NBA development staffs are able to do, and maybe not, just can't completely credit it to them, but when you have that much more time, you're able to get up so many more shots. Guys are able to get into the NBA. If you have a good base, good mechanics to work with to start with, guys are getting into the NBA and becoming better shooters. I think Isaac improved as a shooter even while he was at Auburn. But so if he gets in there, bro, and really grinds it out, he becomes a great shooter. Man, that backcourt could be lights out.
Yeah, no doubt.
What happens to Darius Garland though?
I think he's still gonna play because he can score it. Because you just said Isaac Okoro really is not. He really didn't come to the team to score. He came to do what like Joshua Okogie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Make
yeah,
some
that's
stop,
good comparison.
do some
Yeah,
plays.
yeah.
But you know that you still gonna need buckets. You still
Do
gonna
they
need
play
somebody to
them
pass out
together,
the
man,
bucket.
or are they too small?
Yeah, that's you put Garland and Sexton in the backcourt. I mean, that's what 6'2", 6'1" in the NBA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you can get by. I mean, Okoro will cover some of that up. Okoro, because of course, he can like I say, he can guard the best wing defender any given night. But that's small for the NBA backcourt.
I wonder if they try to go to some kind of depth lineup and go small and put those guys on the floor together. I mean, of course, not right away. I think guys are still developing. I still don't think we've seen the best of Colin Sexton yet. Like, I feel like he was kind of maturing even this season, like with being able to score the ball and being efficient. You know what I mean? Like, he had a run right before the All-Star break where he was getting 25, some 30 balls. Like, he was, you know what I mean, kind of on a roll. So I don't think we've seen the best of Colin, but I think it, in the small ball NBA, man, like if they try that, I would be interested in seeing what that looks like. If they develop those guys to try it. Yeah, Darius Garland can shoot, man. He got a bag too. Like, he's just gotta learn how to play.
Man. I saw him in person. We went to where we go? We went to Nashville for a Christmas tournament one year, and that's up there, Brentwood Academy, where he went to school at. And we didn't play them, but they were playing, and we went back. Like, at the time, we had Jaden Walker, who's at Iowa State now. And we're like, he was a sophomore. We're like, bro, we got to take you back so you can see this cat in person. And man, we went back, and that cat, he's different. He got a different type of speed too. I mean, he was incredible. I mean, incredible some things he did with the ball, the way he shot it. I mean, he's pulling like LaMelo type stuff, man, across the half and just bombing.
Pulling up, yeah. It's crazy how good some of these kids are now, man. Nowadays, man, it's completely insane, bro. Georgia represented though, man. Like, in a year that, like, that was supposed to be a down year. I mean, like, you had the Colin, class or whatever when they came out, but then, like, after that, it was supposed to kind of be a down year. I feel like that down year never really happened. Chuma signed his contract too.
Yeah,
seeing that. That's good.
His contract. So, I'm anxious to see his rookie year. I hate that all of these guys that got drafted aren't going to get a summer league. Like, I would have loved, even for Chuma, like, he was out all last year, and I wanted Chuma to get a summer league, man, be able to kind of get his shit off. You know what I mean?
He was ready to go to Vegas, huh?
Oh, my God. Hey, Coach, that's my trip every year, dog.
Yeah.
I go to Vegas every year. I take my kids, like, we go and we just hang out, dog, and just go in the gym and watch games, dog, and just, what I mean, around the league. Like, it's great.
I've been to Vegas 3 times, I believe it is, and one of the times we went out there overlapped with NBA Summer League, and man, it was crazy, it was nuts. Man, I remember one night and everybody goes out there, y'all know that, all the stars. We went out one night to one of the clubs, and we was walking around. Next thing we know, VIP James Harden is like 6 feet from me. And then like Greg Oden, this was a while back, but Greg Oden's walking through the lobby, bro, it was crazy. But the NBA Summer League in Vegas is different.
I go to Vegas, but I ain't going for no basketball.
Hey, Locke, I'm gonna tell you
the last thing on my mind.
Some of the best basketball that I have been around, whether it's summer league or going to like the Nike coaches clinics and stuff like that, has been in Vegas, man. Some of the like, I got cussed out by Bobby Knight in Vegas one time. Have I ever told you that story?
No, you haven't.
I was at a coaching clinic in Vegas, and they gave us time, like, afterwards, to ask like questions and stuff to Coach Knight. And I was like complaining about my team. And yeah, He was cussing me out. He was like yelling at me and shit, like spit flying, like tell me the shit I was complaining about when my team was my fault, and not using those words so gently, like it was my fault, it was my fault, like, you know. And so I stopped and I just looked at him, and he was like, look, and this shit changed my life, no lies. The best basketball advice I ever got in my entire life, swear to God. He said, whatever your team is doing that you don't like, either you're teaching it or you're allowing it in practice. It's your fault. It's your fault. And I was like, you know what? Shit, you're right. Like, he was like, there's only two ways that they can get it. Either they're gonna learn that shit from you, or they're gonna bring it in your gym and you're gonna allow it to happen, which validates them doing it. If you let them get away with this shit, it's like, it's your fault. I was like, okay. Change the way I look at coaching completely.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I wish I could tell you my Vegas story, but as Dr. Love say, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
Hey man, I feel like I feel like you are a sock around the door guy. Lock, put that sock on the door, dog.
Hey, I'm so glad Bruce is not on the show because he went to Vegas with me last time.
Yeah. I'm not sharing the room with you, Lock.
Hey, only thing I recommend, make sure if you ever go to Vegas, go to Drea's nightclub. Gotta go to Drea's. Best nightclub I've been to. Ever.
We'll see.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. Hey, Drea's is way there.
Top floor, yep.
Yeah. Hey, see? Coach know what I'm talking about.
It's a nice little atmosphere.
I've been missing out, man. Oh, hey, man, prayers up for Klay Thompson, bro. Klay Thompson.
Brutal.
Achilles injury, man. It's crazy, man. Like, it's so hard, man, for these guys. I feel like same thing with like Boogie Cousins, bro. It's like you fight, you do all that to get your way back. Hey, man, relax.
Hey.
Chill on me.
I didn't know what you was talking about when you said that.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? That's how you tell people not to come in, bro. Like,
bro, I just don't answer. You can knock all you want.
I mean, they give you the little do not disturb things you can put on there, right?
Man, I don't even do that. I'm just not answering because the music is up.
Wow.
That's good.
Housekeeping don't even okay, lot. But that I had something like I'm not even gonna say what I was about to say. I'm not even gonna say what I was about to say, Lock. I was gonna take it somewhere else. Okay, let me pull it together. Klay Thompson, man, I feel like so many guys you see come back, fight back from injury, and then have like another injury, man. I hate that, especially for Klay, like, and for his team, bro. Like, they're with Steph and Klay and Draymond healthy, they are different. You know what I'm saying? And to have Draymond basically play a whole season without either of those guys, and then you come back and you're getting ready to do this other season, you know what I'm saying? And then there's no Klay, like, and then wondering what, how, you know what I mean? He's going to recover, ACL and then Achilles back to back. Like, it's going to be like almost 3 seasons before he is able to be back and play again. So it's like, hate it for him, hate it for his family, hate it for, their organization, the whole nine, because, with him on the floor, they're a title contender. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's hard to make that up. Like, you can't just go get a guy and make up for Klay Thompson. You know what I mean?
I mean, what, he got to be top five shooter of all time?
For sure.
You can't. Those dudes ain't just growing on trees.
Nah, definitely don't.
That's definitely true. Coach, we got some highlights from your team, man. I'm gonna show some guys what else ain't growing on trees. You got some guys that ain't.
Hey, yeah. Hey, he got some guys that they
You
are
got
trees.
You got some shit down there, up there. I can't say down there, up there at Wander Barrel that don't grow on trees, Coach. Let's take a look at one of your guys, man.
All right.
Coach, when you got a 6'10" kid that's dunking the ball, shooting jump hooks, and then gonna step out and make the trail three, like at some point it just ain't fair no more, Coach. What what are y'all doing up there, man? What's going on?
Man, first of all, he got incredible bloodlines, man. I mean, his dad, I want to say, played for the Nigerian national team. You know, his brother played at Winder, and then went on to play at Richmond and Pitt. And then, his sister was number one player in the country, and she plays at UConn now. She's about to be a junior, I believe. So the bloodlines are great. And yeah, he's all of 6'10", long, worked hard in the weight room. I mean, he's up now probably to about right around 190, which is about, from the time I got there, April 2018, about a 25-pound increase.
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, he's just got great bloodlines, and he's just got things. He's got the uncoachable things. You can't teach length. And the thing that's crazy is, coach guys, man, he can run like a deer. Like, we do sprints, and when he's locked in, he almost dang near wins every sprint. So yeah, I mean, he's got tons of great natural ability.
Definitely a player that we watching. When I start asking the guys for highlights and stuff, Locke hurry up and sent me those right there. Like, I feel like you had them in the tuck on your phone already, dog.
Hey, Coach did. Hey, Coach had his guys ready, man. We got the platform for him. He's gonna give you guys exposure. He's doing what a head coach supposed to do.
Right.
I asked for highlight for coaches. Hey, I asked for highlight for coaches. It take 2-3 days. It take 2-3 days. I'm like, I got a college coach on the line now, coach.
Right.
Send me the highlights.
Coach, how is Isaiah's recruitment going, man?
You know, it's good. He's got he's sitting there with a really solid Western Kentucky offer. He's got Cleveland State. You know, he has Iowa State and Georgia Tech. He got those a while back. I think they still sitting out there. They may track him a little bit throughout the season, see how that goes. And then, of course, you know, he's a 6'10" kid with all these, you know, this versatility. If you have a really good year, you know, depending on what's going on in the spring, you know, you never know what he may pick up during that time. He's just got to go out and have a great senior year. And, you know, for us to be good, he's got to be a real difference maker. You know, really, I tell him more on the defensive end because, man, I made the argument when he's locked in and engaged, guys, like he can be the best defender in the state. I mean, when he's locked in, he can switch out on the guard, put the clamps on him. He can come from the weak side, you know, 2-3 steps away, clean the glass. He can go rebound. I mean, when he's locked in and engaged, man, he is really, really a game changer on the defensive side.
I agree, Coach. He could change a liability, change a lot of shots, and even the shots he don't block. Like it's his presence of being in there when he wants to be that. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
Incredible talent. I feel like he's one of them kids. I feel like some school that jumped in on him early because of COVID might get lucky.
Yeah, and he's young. Like he won't turn 17 or 18 to the middle of June. So he could actually be in the 22 class. Yeah.
2022. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Damn, he might grow another inch or two.
Man, he might. I mean, he was 6'7" when I got here. And, you know, I tell the coaches, I ain't boosting at 6'10". Like, put him on the line and, you know, measure him up. He's 6'10" all day, every day.
Man. And Coach, like you said, with his body, you know what I mean? Like, he still got a lot of time to fill out with, know what I mean? Not turning 18 until that long. Like, he still got a lot of time to get his man body, too.
Yeah, no question. By the time he gets on campus in June, before he plays his first game, he'll be 15, 20 pounds heavier, no doubt, in the right program, right weight room.
Man, that could be tough. That's a kid with, you know, like what we saw in the draft, man. When you're a skilled guy, you know what I mean, that pick and roll, can pick and pop and step out and make shots, like, you know.
Yeah, he can do a lot of things, man. A lot of things. And, you know, I give the kid credit, man. He's a worker, bro. Like, he don't duck getting in the gym. I mean, I'll be real. Like, I love the kid to death, but I probably spend about as much time with him as I had my own son. You know, whether it's in the gym lifting him, whether it's, you know, morning workouts, after school workouts this summer. You know, we came up during, you know, we found ways to find time to get in the gym, to get him ready for AAU and all that stuff. But he does not duck getting in the gym. He loves the skill work side for sure. And you can see it when you watch it.
My bad, Locke.
Crazy. I don't see why UGA is not recruiting him because he reminds me of the Rayshawn Hammonds, the Nick Claxtons, those type of players.
Yeah.
And,
you know,
they
were on him early. You know, and, you know, he didn't, and he'll be the first to tell you, he didn't have, especially the beginning of the AAU season, he kind of wanted. Then when he switched teams and jumped on AC Georgia, you know, he picked it back up, started playing well, did some things, showed some versatility. But, you know, I think, you know, they may have made their mind. Now, they may come back around. You know, like I said, if he has a great year and does some things and we have a good year, you know, I can see them trying to get back in the conversation. But, yeah, Georgia Tech was one that pulled the trigger on him early.
You got to keep him in state, man. UGA, Georgia Tech, get on it. We need to keep him in state. Too many of our players leaving the state.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you, between if you can just keep them from going to the state of Alabama, I feel like a lot of our best players are going to either Alabama or Auburn. They come in here getting pros. That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother show, but like Alabama and Auburn coming down here getting pros, man. Bruce done set up camp.
True that.
Well, Coach, I mean, you know, most guys that we bring on the show, facts. Most coaches that we bring on, man, we only got to talk about one kid, you know, in that whole program. But That ain't the case with you, Coach. You got you got multiple kids, man. We're gonna show some highlights of one of my personal favorites. This is one of my favorite players to watch in Georgia.
Sleeper.
For sure. Let's show Wyatt's highlights.
Man.
Why is one of man, coaches? I know y'all come back and y'all watch this show, coaches. Y'all on here, y'all looking for players. Hey, dog, go offer this kid and then go take a nap.
You won't be sorry, I promise.
Go offer this kid, get him on campus, and you're going to sleep well, dog. Coach going to give you a raise, dog, once you get him on campus.
Yeah,
he's going to move into that associate head coach role once you get him on campus. Wyatt can play.
Ooh,
I don't know if there's anything that Wyatt can't do.
So he moved over about late July. Okay, got him in, and he comes into me, and I'm thinking, I knew the name. I've seen some of the stuff on Twitter, social media. I try to stay plugged in all that, but I thought he was just a shooter that could jump. I didn't really know he could pass it. I didn't know he could handle it. I didn't know, he was such a good shot blocker. So we get him right. I watch him in AAU and whatnot, and he shows flashes. And man, we get him. We start training and we start lifting and we start getting him in some fall league stuff. I'm like, yo, this kid, he got a deep bag. I mean, he can do a lot of things. I mean, he's taking the ball, and then we give him the freedom. Right, so you go get it, you push it, you take it, and he got, we can do it. You saw the nice little move he had behind the back, left hand Euro finish. He is, and same thing, every bit, no lie, coaches, 6'9", all right, all of 6'9". He's put on about 7-8 pounds of muscle since he got here, which has helped him out on the glass and doing some of those things. And man, he's a legit 3-4 on offense. I mean, he's a legit wing. I didn't know he had those ball skills till he got here, but he's really improved that. Hard work. Him and Zay been in the gym a lot, and really that's been great for both of them. Having those two guys go against each other and pushing and competing and kind of wanting the same thing at the end of the day has been great for the both of them. And I'm gonna tell you, let him get a step and try to meet him at the rim and see what happens, because he is sneaky athletic.
I done seen a bunch of dudes try that shit, coach, and get embarrassed.
Man, he is not afraid. I mean, it happens at least once every other day in practice where he just takes off on somebody. I mean, we had my poor coach. We kind of shorthanded right now until football ends. So we got coaches trying to jump in and run with the second group. That was one that came off the rim the other day. One that came off the rim the other day, coach forgot to block out. Man,
on his neck,
got ugly for him, man.
On his neck. Hey man, that kid, and I don't say this often, man. There's nothing that he can't do.
Agreed.
He can do all of it.
And he's only gonna get better because most people don't know this, right? He was injured his freshman year, didn't get to play at all. All right, something with his left knee. Then I think, if I'm getting this correct, sophomore year he dislocated his kneecap and didn't get to play at all. All right. So last year, you know, he had no injuries, and coaches asked all the time, "What's the issue with the knee brace?" Well, he don't even wear the knee brace anymore. All right. So he hadn't had any knee issues in the past, 18, 19 months. And he was like, "Coach, last year as a junior, he's like, the game was really fast for me at the beginning. He's like, that was my first real basketball high school action, varsity or whatever." And he was like, but by the end of the year, he was like, "Coach, I feel like I was pumping in 14, 15 a game, so I had adjusted to the speed." And man, he gets better every time. I mean, every day, he gets better. And like, I think he's just purpose, man. I mean, we talk about coaches want size and shooting, right? He is I think he could be a 40% guy at college, no doubt.
100%.
He has a great feel for the game, like just when he's playing and in our motion stuff. He'll throw a backdoor pass. I'm like, hold on, he's 6'9". You ain't supposed to be able to drop that dime in there like that. But it's just a lot of things that translate at the next level for sure with that kid.
I think so too, Coach, man. I watching him play, man, it's like, okay, you need me to run the point for 3 or 4 possessions? Cool, I got it. You know what I mean? You need a rebound? Cool. You need me to challenge somebody at the rim? Cool. Yeah. Mid-range? Cool. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Volleyball line 3? Cool. You know what I mean? It was like, that kid really amazed me, man. And I don't know, where he plays at UAT or whatnot, but like, it was like, bro, but you kind of explained it with the injuries, man. It's like, how did we lose that kid? Like, I saw him play last year in Huff's event at the Big South Shootout, and I was like, where in the fuck did this kid come from? Like, that dude was you're right, dude. Talent.
Yeah, very. And he's a great kid and he works hard. He wants it. I mean, same thing. He ain't ducking workouts. If I say, hey, wow, I'm going to pick you up at 6 for a workout at 6:15. All right, coach. I mean, he's there. He lifts hard every day. I mean, he's going to be all right. And right now it's just with kids that don't have a ton of offers. It's just trying to get them to run their own race and just be patient, trust the process. Easy for me to say as a coach, it ain't my recruitment, right? But getting them to buy in and just, one foot after the next, stack good days on good days, and it'll take care of itself. But I think he's going to be fine come springtime, no doubt.
I think so, man.
I really see him playing in a SoCon. Like, I really can see him at that level.
Absolutely.
Like a Mercer.
Mm-hmm.
Or anything like that. I really can see him at that level and, dominating.
And we've got a lot of coaches that have been really intrigued by some of the film we've sent over and some of the clips. I mean, like, I want to say Denver, which, Denver's been really good at coming to Georgia and snatching some kids, man. Roscoe, Sam Hines. I'm like, bro, you get this kid out there, man, that's 3 starters for you right there from Georgia. I mean, help you win the league. Then you got USC Upstate, been in the bid. I know Lipscomb's been on it for a while. We had Stanford calling for a little bit in the SoCon over in Alabama. But yeah, he's got a lot of guys that are like, hey, coach, we just, we want to see more. Whenever he has game film, shoot it over to us. So that's kind of where he's at with his recruiting process. But no, I agree with you. I mean, all of 6'9" can shoot it, can handle it, pass it, understands how to play. I'm
gonna tell you where I wanted him to go, man, and this is just me personally. I would love to see him at Kennesaw State. Yeah, I would love to see him at Kennesaw State with the up-tempo way that they want to play at length, and with the guys, the young group of guys that they have started to bring in. Right, like I would love to see him playing. Kennesaw want to get out and run the way they want to get out and run. A lot of dribble handoffs, a lot of ball screen stuff, man. I just feel like with his shooting, it would open up the floor for guys like Youngblood and Stroud to be able to get to the Terrell Bird and be able to get to the basket. Like, man, it would be something,
And I've talked to Kennesaw about him a little bit, and I think they're in the spot right now. They just right at this point they don't have a ton of scholarships left because they brought in such a big class last year. Now, obviously, you know how the game goes now, especially with the transfer rule. Somebody's leaving. Somebody's leaving everywhere this year.
For sure.
Guaranteed.
For sure.
So it'll be, I think that's another thing that's going to help him with dudes bouncing around. I mean, yeah, sure, they can get a transfer out the portal or whatever, or you can get this 18-year-old kid who's 18 and still developing that has that skill set. Like, like I said, I think he just got to stay true to the process, and he's going to be fine.
He wanted to, hey man, look, I don't know, like CY knows. I don't know. Maybe even like I may not even know like Glock knows. But damn it, man, if out of all the kids that we've seen that end up going lottery and stuff like that, if that kid stays healthy, what kid have we seen at that size that has his skill set? Jabari? Walker Kessler? Who else have we seen 6'8", 6'9", and above with Wyatt's skill set?
Right. And for me, like, I think he's a kid like that who flew under the radar so much, didn't play a ton of AAU because of injury stuff, right? This COVID thing killed him. I think he's a kid with a coach on the baseline, and you see, he's really 6'9". You see him smashing windmills in warm-ups. Okay, he's athletic. Then you go out there and see him hit a 3 or 2 and block a shot. Okay, I've seen enough. Here you go. But the stream just don't do anybody justice,
Right.
So I think the COVID thing really, really hurt like a kid like that, where he looks a lot better in person, whether he scores 20 or he just goes out there and hits 8 or 9 and blocks a few shots and does a few things,
Hey man, we always say skill pay the bills, man. I don't. To me, you're gonna be hard pressed to find another guy with that type of skill set. You know what I mean? And not fluky, not where he shows flashes. No, that's just his game.
Right. And the other thing too, man, if we could get coaches in the gym this fall, if they'd have been able to see him go through a 40-minute workout, it'd have been a wrap. I mean, you see this dude go up a 65, 70% from 3 in a skill workout. You see him handling the ball. You see him taking flight. He would have picked up 3 or 4 offers just off working out on the air, I think.
I think so. Gonna be a big year, man. I want to see. I want to see this kid get busy. I'm taking a look at y'all schedule, Coach. Let's see what we got.
The game. I'm looking at the Lanier game. I'm looking for, but that's in January.
Yeah, that's region play in January. Yep.
Yeah. You got Shiloh.
I mean, we tried to we got in the little Jefferson tournament, which was really good last year. Last year we played St. Pius, GAC, Jefferson, which were all ranked. Okay. Concordia was in it, but I think somebody said they might have got quarantined recently and had to drop out. We picked up Cherokee Bluff, who I think is going to be really good. They got another 6'9" kid over there that's pretty good. We added Discovery. I had to get my guys Discovery on there. That's going to be a great matchup right there. His guards, that boy down there got some guards for you, man.
I see Buford on here too, Coach.
What's that?
I see Buford on here too.
Yeah, that's in our region. Our region is brutal, bro. Outside of the Allatoona, South Cobb region, man, I think ours is the toughest. I mean, Buford, Shiloh, Lanier, twice, Decula, Central. I mean, it's a tough one, man. It's going to be a dogfight in that region for 4 spots.
Tell me I put the schedule on screen. Hey, we'll get there, Sly. We'll get there. But no, pretty good schedule. We definitely want to see some of those games, man. Coach, we were talking beforehand, and we'll put these thoughts out in the air with everything that is going on with COVID. Like, games are dropping all over the place. The event, there was supposed to be a tournament in Alpharetta, I think Johns Creek or something this weekend that got canceled. Like, I'll put this out here. I feel like it would help us. Why not just bump the season back, man? I mean, DeKalb County has canceled winter sports supposedly. Like, why not just bump our season back, man? Let us start in January. Let us have a full season. No canceling games and tossing stuff around, man. You know, I would love to see that, man. What are your thoughts on what that would look like?
I know we talked about that a little bit before we came on air, and I mean, like I said, you bump football. Cause I know some guys, man, like my guy, Coach Morris at Jefferson. Like, I think he's only got 5 varsity players. He's got 9 dudes playing football. And they're going to be really good in football. They might win state in football, and they're going to be really dang good in basketball. So, like, he's crippled until January. But, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to it. As long as, if you're going to bump it, I'm cool with it. As long as we still get our 425. Like, you bump football and gave them a full 10, bump us to January, like we said earlier. Let us run January, February, March, and, championships in mid-April. And then it wouldn't kill, if you have to bump baseball back because you're worried about that. I mean, baseball starts mid-January anyway. I'm sure those coaches wouldn't be too opposed to being bumped back a couple weeks to a month to let a little bit warmer weather come through either.
I don't think it would be so bad, Coach. And like you said, I don't know that even if there was some overlap between baseball and basketball, that there are so many kids playing those two sports anymore.
Right.
Baseball dominates year round so much that most kids have to play year round with baseball anyway. So I feel like you wouldn't see the interruption that football caused. Like Huff got beat up on at Holy Innocents last year, waiting on them football kids to get back.
Yeah, he did.
Those smaller schools, man, you had a AA, AAA school, and you got some dudes that are winning football games, man. You running around with a JV squad and for 7, 8, 9 games,
For sure. I would love to see that, man. I don't know how many players it's going to take from the state of Georgia to get drafted and be in the NBA before we realize that, hey, maybe we're not just a football state anymore. Maybe everything, all the rules that we implement don't need to fully circle around football, man. We've got, you know what I mean? We got some serious talent in the state for basketball too. I hope GHSA realizes that. I hope they don't try to make basketball suffer between too many cancellations and try to force our way through this thing. It's like, man, if it gets too bad, you know what I mean? Let's just move it out. Hopefully it won't get bad. But if it does, I'm seeing, tournaments get moved. On the Radar had to move their event. It looks like, I don't know the reason why, but move their event from Norcross to Providence.
So the reason why I think Gwinnett gyms are now, at first it was 600 kids. Now you only allow 150 kids.
150 capacity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's including teams.
Mm-hmm.
That's why my son had to move his event. 150 is not a lot.
Yeah, and see, and that's my thing. I feel like if you bump the season back, even these event operators who, let's just be honest, I'm part of the Lemon Street Classic. Marietta wants to make money on this event. I'm sure On the Radar wants to make money on their event and be able to let fans enjoy the event. I'm sure Chris Williams wants to make money on Hoops Given, man. Like, let's do something to allow everybody to enjoy the game, to play the game, to, the guys that need to be taken care of financially so we can keep going. Let that happen. Like, I don't know.
Speaking of the capacity thing, I don't know if y'all saw it, but did y'all see that? So J.D. Davis had the dunk, like 2 nights ago. Y'all see the gym?
Yes.
It was slammed.
Yes.
Packed. No mask.
None to be found.
Sweet home Alabama.
Say hey, wave to everybody.
Hey, so Coach, you got the head coaching job last year, right?
Yeah. Last year was my first year. Yep.
Yeah. So I seen that the record went up about almost 10 games.
Yeah, we had a +9. Man, it was really a good situation. I wouldn't have just left Discovery for anything as an assistant. I really loved it there, and we had that thing rolling. But yeah, so a great opportunity to open up. And I had coached against Winder at Lanier, at Discovery, and I always thought, like, man, they got some pretty athletic dudes. you know, if it opened up, like I'd be interested. I thought it was a place you go in and probably do some program building. But so yeah, it opened up. It opened up, and you know, we came in and got it, and we worked it. You know, we kind of, I think, changed the culture up a little bit and did some things that hadn't previously been done. And the guys bought in. You know, I had a good senior class. I had a guard that was really tough, averaged like 18 a game. And yeah, you know, we were able to go from 8 to 17 wins, and I think it's been good because this year now they kind of know what to expect. And you know, going in year 2, you know, we're just trying to continue to elevate that and keep that thing moving the right way.
That's good. So were your guys able to buy in quickly?
Yeah, you know, and you know, you got to worry. I worry about that some. You know, I'm coming from Discovery, which obviously that name had got to the point where it held a little bit of weight because we had been able to elevate that program. We were coming off that Elite 8 run. I'll tell you, girl. Go find mommy real quick. But nah. So we come in. You know, for me, the easiest way to get the buy-in, I thought, was just get to work. You know, we went right to the skill work stuff even before I even got to Winder. Get in there, sweating with the guys, let them know I'm invested. And you know, I think I'm telling you, the game that really got us going last year was when we were able to beat St. Pius. Like, it's cool to work hard and win, you know, do those things, but then you got to win. And going out and being able to beat a really good program in St. Pius, I think gave our dudes the confidence that we could compete against some really high level teams.
Coach, I always like to ask this question, and we'll close with this, Coach. But gotta know, Coach, what's the most fun that you've ever had around basketball?
The most fun I've ever had around basketball, man. I'm gonna say, man, the night that we won the region at Discovery, all right, at Peachtree Ridge, on Peachtree Ridge's court, man, that was because we had put so much into it, man. We had a great staff. You know, that year we had us you know, we were co-region champs in the regular season because Ridge had a really good team that year too, man. Coach Diggs does a great job, but we went over there. It was just their year to host, and you know, we came out there, man. We were locked in, and you know, we had a really talented team that year. And to go out there and win that, man, I just remember going back in that locker room. The dudes were so hyped. We were so hyped. I mean, it was bottles were, you know, not gonna say popping. We had the water bottles going everywhere, man. It was man. That's probably the best experience, you know, I've had, especially from the coaching side.
Yeah.
You know, you put all that time into it, and the kids invested, and you know, to get that was really special.
Hey, Coach, I love it. You guys have a chance to get it done. Like you said, your region is very tough,
right? But
you guys got a lot of talent. I mean, I don't see why not, man. You know, like you said, you got Decula, you got Central Gwinnett, you know, you got Beaufort and Shiloh. Beaufort and Shiloh definitely always really, really tough. But man, y'all got the talent to be right there, man. Might be able to get it done in that region and come out of that region, man. We celebrate region championships on this show, Coach. We know that ain't where it stops. That's not where it ends, but we celebrate region championships. We think you got a chance to do it, Coach. So
I appreciate it.
Coach, we appreciate you coming on, man. Good luck to you guys this season, man, and that Wanderberg team, man. Look, Winder Barrow. I'm sorry, my country accent get in the way. Winder Barrow. I appreciate you, Coach, man. Appreciate you coming on, bro.
Yeah, guys.
I appreciate it, man.
All right, fellas.
Man, we got another coach that's gunning for a region title.
Yes, sir.
He got some dudes too.
Yes, he does.
Let's get it on, man. I always love bringing people onto the show that actually watch the show. Knowing Coach Travis watched the show, he rocked with us. Coach Carden watches the show. It's gonna be great to have him on. Coach,
how y'all doing?
Coach was good.
I just want to make sure that everybody knows what I had to do just to worm my way onto this podcast. I hope y'all got the money. I hope you got all the flowers and the food and everything else that I had to send out just to get to be on this.
Coach, the boxes of cash went a long way. I appreciate it.
I told you I strategically had to get Cabral a college job to worm my way on here, because guys, listen, in all seriousness, thank you so much. As I said, I'm not sure anybody it can be on this that is more excited to be around guys that like what I like. All right. And that's talking basketball, talking about our program and talking about high school basketball too. So, again, thanks so much. I apologize for looking so gruff, but I want you to know it is No Shave November. And, I don't shave during the whole month of November. And that's just to draw attention to cancer awareness. And I'll be making a donation to Coaches versus Cancer, for that. And that's the whole reason, when January comes around and we have Suits and Sneakers Week, I participate in that too, because very big advocate of that. So can't come on here without making that mention. So sorry we look so rough out here.
No problem, Coach. I will say this, Coach, and I wish we were meeting under better circumstances, but I do have a bone to pick, Coach.
Okay.
Tuesday night, I had my son is a Marietta Blue Devil, and Tuesday night I had to sit through what you guys did to us on Tuesday night. I congratulate you, Coach. It did hurt a little bit. 17 threes, Coach. It hurt a little bit. I'd have to say you probably like your team a lot.
Well, look, I had a great team last year. And guys, you know as well as I do, you got to be humble. Because you never know who's out there watching. Don't ever think you the cock of the walk, because somebody's out there waiting for you, Yeah,
for sure.
Now, I tell you what I am proud of our kids is, I realize we don't pass the look test. I realize that. I understand that. I mean, we don't even have our best, most athletic, most gifted player out there, which is Aiden Watson, who's, out for another 4 weeks with a bad sprained back. And we have a saying at Sequoia. It's called NUYO, NUYO, and that stands for never underestimate your opponent. So and it works two ways too. We realize and we walk out on the floor that there's going to be some snickers. There's going to be some laughs and everything. But when the ball goes up, that's the great thing about basketball. It doesn't matter how big or tall or small and everything. Everybody can play with everybody. And of course, you guys know shooting is the ultimate equalizer. Okay. You shoot the ball Marcus Hood's a really good friend of mine. And remember when he was at Allatoona, they beat us unmercifully when I first got the job there, just over and over. I told him, and they struggled a little bit last year, but he's going to have a good team, but I said, look, if we're on, we're shooting the ball. Because we can really shoot the ball if we're on and they play a matchup zone, and I hate that the secret's already out, but our kids can shoot the ball. And I felt like probably could have made a few more. We have some open shots and some kids that really shoot the ball well that didn't shoot the ball well. But our kids played hard. They played good defense. And, I think it's a testament to our skill work that we do. If you would come into our practice, you would notice there's a 20-minute skill session to start practice before we ever start practice, and then there's another 15-minute in the middle of it. And then when we're over with, I just, as soon as I got home, we got practice finished at 6:30, because I was still at the gym working with those kids because practice was over at 6 and they were just wanting to still stay and get their shots up. And also you heard Coach McDaniel say, I'm sick right now because I practice with 8 kids today. And, we got half our team quarantined, and none of them are positive. But remember, we've been in school for 15 weeks. We've been in school since day one. You know, there's 2,000 kids in our school at Sequoia, and if a kid gets tested positive, I mean, we lose 8 kids around that kid in the classroom. So I mean, and we're not shutting down, you know, and a couple of our kids got banged today, you know, or actually yesterday, and you know, I had to call up Jefferson. I don't with Aiden out and you know, 3 starters and a first line reserve. We, you know, and plus our team, like Coach was saying, you know, we got a lot of kids that play football. You know, I've only got 2 on my varsity team, but I got 4 on my JV, and I've got 7 on my freshman team. You know, so and they're playing to get in the region playoffs actually Saturday night, not Friday. So I mean, I'm you know, if that hadn't happened, I was looking forward to going over to Jefferson because I would assume we would have been playing Winder Barrow. And, you know, I was looking forward to that because I know how good they are. And like I say, you know, you look at our schedule, we got a good schedule. You know, matter of fact, you know, we went out of the smoke and into the heat now because I just talked with Larry Thompson earlier, and now we're in Wheeler's event. And, you know, we're either going to play Newton or Dutchtown. So, you know, I mean, so it you know, it doesn't really matter to me who we play. You know, we still got to pick up one more because we lost 2 games. But, you know, we've got a tough schedule. And you know, you got to see us play last night, and we got to have them strapped on tight every single game because we can't afford a letdown. And we had an extensive film session. Like I say, we went, you know, 2.5 hours today, but 40 minutes of it was film session. And there was a lot of things, you know, those kids were kind of hanging their head a little big, thinking, I thought we played good. That's kind of the problem, guys, is that you shoot the ball, everybody thinks you play great. You know, us coaches look at the rotations on defense, the lack of box outs, the not running the floor, not executing your stuff and everything. So.
Coach, he definitely was hot last night. Hot. I had to stop texting him because he was telling me how Marietta was in that zone, and y'all was knocking out them tray balls.
Well, and again, you know, that Marcus had very great success at Allatoona. You remember he went to the state championship in the Final Four on back-to-back years, and he was ultra successful running that matchup zone. It's tough.
Yep.
And like I say, you shoot the ball well and you get the ball. Remember, the best offense against the zone is getting it down before the team sets up. And I thought we had quite a few in transition too, you know, and some offset plays. But like I said, we got kids that shoot the ball pretty well. You know, you can't ever count on that, but it's nice to have that. You know,
got a lot of kids on your team that I really like. I mean, you know, Dylan Wall, I've known for a long time. You know, being in the gym, training. I probably known Dylan since maybe 5th grade, I think, 4th or 5th grade. Like, just, you know, a kid that just comes in, good attitude, works, you know what I mean? And so I'm happy to see him have the success that he's having. But, man, Coach, I'm going to tell you, watching the Cal Keener kid, hey, man, it's a lot of people that don't know.
Yeah.
Coaches, I say this all the time. Go offer this kid and then go to bed.
Yeah.
Because you did good. Go offer Cal Keener and then go to bed.
Here's the, you know, first of all about Dylan. Dylan is an absolute coach's dream. All right. Yep. There is nothing superficial about him. I mean, he's the first one at practice. He's the last one to leave. He is a yes, sir, no, sir. He's a 4.3 GPA. Him or Fisher Mitchell is probably going to be valedictorian. You know, they are in high-level AP courses. You know, they are leaders out there in practice. They take hard coaching. You know, I can get on to them, and they won't bat an eyelid. So they'll look at me and say, yes, sir, and go do what I say. They are great. Dylan actually lives just down the street from us. And let me tell you a great story about Dylan that people will understand this and see what a big difference it makes. When the pandemic come around, Dylan came over to my house with my son Cam every day remember, we were talking about March till, you know, April, May or somewhere there, came over to my house in our garage, and I got a pretty good little workout in my garage. Him and Nick Lee and Fisher Mitchell lifted every day. And then he went back to his house, like I say, just down the street, and worked out in his driveway. There was no gym. There was no trainer, other than his dad throwing the ball to him. But he went out on the asphalt and the concrete and worked on his game, because remember, you weren't allowed to go anywhere.
Yep.
Dylan Woolley never missed a single workout in his front driveway. And then when it finally were able to kind of let the AAU groups get to play, and he plays with the Legacy and Josh Fitzwater, and they got out there and got to practice a little bit. And then they got in some of them weak little tournaments to start off with and got to play real bad in it and get their rhythm going. And then when it finally came around to high level playing tournaments and college coaches watching, he blew up. He blew up when he went for 38 in the morning and then came back that evening, had 39. And remember, Fisher Mitchell and Kyle Keener is on that team too. And the ironic thing about it is, I'm not sure if Dylan's even our best shooter on our team, because Kyle can stay right with him. And Kyle, remember, Kyle is a coach's son. His dad coached at James Madison, coached at Georgia Tech, coached at UAPB, and he's a coach's dream. I mean, boy, if you watch us practice, every time I make a coaching point, I look at Kyle. Kyle's looking me right in the eye, and then he goes and do it. So you got to remember, you can be successful when you got kids that listen to you and want to be coached and don't get frustrated because you stay on them. Because guys, I'll be the first one to admit I'm tough on my players. I'm hard on them. But I tell them, embrace being coached hard. It means that I see something in you, and both these kids are exactly like that. So we're very fortunate to have those kids, and then our other kids. It breaks my heart every day not to get to coach Aiden Watson, because
yeah,
I don't want to get emotional, but that kid needs to be playing because somebody needs to take a chance on him.
Exactly.
And then like I say, our other kids that are on our team and everything, they're just great kids. Nick Lee is set behind Jackson Greco and Donovan Shipp and Miles McGee, and a couple years ago Myron Gibson and DJ King, and just got beat up in practice, got worked over. And he had to sit on that bench and wait his time. And now he's playing, and he's doing a good, because he had to sit and wait on his time. What do most kids do nowadays? Leave. Yeah. Nick stuck it out, man. And now he gets to play. And remember, guys, we lost 7 seniors, and Aiden's not even playing. So I got a whole new team, So again, you can't say, oh well, we may not be very good. We'll just kind of have to play. No, you work them, and every year is different. And what, so
Coach,
I'm excited about this group.
One thing, Coach, that I feel like, and maybe it's a misconception, and just from watching you guys over the years, and especially Tuesday night, I feel like you do coach those guys hard. Like, you coach really hard. But one misconception I think about guys who coach the game hard is that they don't allow their players to have freedom to play. But that's not what I see from your guys. Like, I feel like you let your guys hoop a little bit too, Coach. Like, is that something that's kind of a common misconception that you get a lot, or what do you think about that?
Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna tell you, I want to try to score 100 points every game. Okay, we're not slowing it down. Okay. There was no bigger advocate of the shot clock than myself, and Roy Wells from Langston Hughes can tell you that. I was right in his hip pocket on everything. What can I help you? What can I do? What can I do? So, I believe you got to play faster. So also, when you got kids that can shoot the basketball, like for instance, last year we had Jackson Greco, his sophomore year, I set him down beside me and said, Jackson, if you don't shoot the ball, you don't get to play, And it's the same way with Dylan last year, because Dylan was a seventh man for us last year and had some big games. But there were times I took him out and said, Dylan, if you're not going to shoot the ball, you're not going to play. Now here's the thing, Coach. I hope these kids are not watching today, because they think all I care about is defense. All right. They don't realize that we emphasize defense, but we work on offense a lot. And we want to get the ball up and down the floor, and we want to try to score 100 points a game. But that don't mean we don't try to play defense. But Coach, personally, I think we run good stuff. I think we get the ball out. We're going to try to get you in a lot of. We're going to try to get a lot of possessions. Our goal is always to get up 75 plus shots. Our goal is always score 75 plus points and hold our opponents under 50. Okay. But I'm not one to say, okay, you win a game 92-86. Oh, you didn't play good defense. That's not necessarily true. You gave up a lot of possessions, so, it's just like what I was talking with our kids today, is, hey, that's great. Those shots were going in, but, are you going to be able to play when maybe somebody takes that away? Are you going to be able to play in a slow down game and everything? Are you going to be able to do that? So you got to be, I'm a firm believer. We've got a philosophy, a way we want to play, but also you got to be able to play different ways because you may get caught up in a walk it up the floor type game. So you got to be able to play different ways.
Yeah. Coach, I'm looking at y'all scores from last year. It's not too many games y'all scored under 70 points.
Well, and again, I had a we averaged about 76 a game last year. And guys, I'll go ahead and tell you this. I still, and my guys will tell you this too, we still don't play fast enough for me. But because and here's the reason I say this, and I think all coaches will agree with me on this. Kids say they want to play fast, but they don't want to put the time in to play fast because it's uncomfortable to them. It's uncomfortable to get that ball out and run all the time. It's uncomfortable to run the floor block to block. It's uncomfortable to have to step up and pressure the ball. It's just like I want to be able to pressure the ball more. Our guys want to play half-court defense because that's comfortable to them, So we go round and round defensively all the time about them stepping up. I wanted to press, for instance, the other night, I wanted to extend the floor more against Marietta. They wanted to turn around and run back. So that was a frustrating thing about it, But it is early, and remember, you got to work on what you can work on right now, which is tough this early in the year. But we always want to play fast, and I guarantee you, I want to try to score 100 a whole lot more than we score 50. And I go round and around with some of the great coaches who are my coaching buddies, and they say, no, we play defense. That's the only thing. Yeah, we do too, but you better be able to score. And if you'll notice, the teams that win the state championship and the teams that are really good and make really deep runs, those cats can score the ball. All right. They not just a grinded out defensive team that stops people. They say they are, but they can put the ball in the hole. And if you want to win in high school, you better be able to score the ball.
Coach, you probably one of the few coaches that ever said that and put emphasis on a lot of scoring.
Coaches. Well, and again, I get in a lot of arguments about that. And first and foremost, I want to tell you, I'm a defensive guy. Okay. Always have been, when I was in college, our coach was a great defensive guy. I learned my defense from him, but we could score the ball, so you got to emphasize defense, but you got to work on offense a lot. And like I say, you want to win games, you want to win games, you got to put the ball in a hole. Because, again, you can win not scoring the ball, but you're going to be locked into a lot of close games. And then you got to do a lot of situations. You got to make plays and everything. So, we want to push the pace and get the teams playing up and down because a lot of teams don't like to do that, and, they say they do. Everybody says they want a fast break. And if we don't have the fast break, we don't have our primary break into our secondary break, we've got a really good continuity offense. And, just about everybody that plays us knows our continuity offense, because I've been running it for 30 years. So, I mean, they know what we're running, which I don't care, because, we run I want to know where kids are at, but, but I agree with you. They don't want to really push the pace because it's uncomfortable. And plus, remember, if you play fast, you got to be able to put up. You got to give your kids a little bit more leeway, like what you said. they're going to throw the ball away sometimes. You know, we try to
Hey,
cut
Coach.
that down, but you know, you got to
Hey,
be willing to put up with that.
When you said that about playing fast, I think a lot of people don't see. I watched y'all twice against South Cobb. Y'all play fast, but it's under control.
Mhm.
Because a lot of teams play fast, but it's not controlled.
Don't take care of the ball. Yeah.
Well, and here's the thing about that. Coach Moultrie and I both kind of have the same philosophy in that. I mean, we both believe in defense, but he gets that ball out quick and up the floor very fast too.
Mhm.
And you know, a lot of times when you're playing a fast athletic team or something like that, you say, "Well, we better slow it down. We better play some zone." I believe you speed up more, you know, because I want to tell you, you take a team like South Cobb that gets after you defensively, and that ball goes through the hoop, and you slowly take it out of bounds and, hey, set up my press break. Well, they're going to be all over you, you know. So, you know, we believe you grab that ball out of bounds, you get it up the floor before the press or the pressure can set up, you know. So, you know, that's playing right into a lot of pressure's team hands if you play slow or if you let the ball bounce. You know, put it this way: in practice, everything we do is full court in practice. You know, if we're working on a defensive shell drill, there's a shot goes up, and when it goes in or out, we're transitioning down to the other end and doing the same drill in the other end, but it's in transition. You know, and if the ball bounces when it goes through the hoop, all right, we stay on defense. Okay, they don't get the ball out and everything. But if they grab it when it comes out, they're running the floor. But remember, how is basketball played? It's not played half court; it's played full court. Now, guys, it's kind of an oxymoron. Is that remember? Games are won in the half court offense and defensive side. Everybody knows that, and every coach knows that. There are times where you've got to slow down. When it gets under during winning time, first whistle under 4 minutes, yeah, we play clock and situation. You know, so
Yeah.
you know, we're going to walk the ball down because it's dumb to me to be up 9, you know, with 3:32 and you're still running down jacking up threes. That's not smart.
Coach, I'm looking at your region. Things got shuffled around a little bit.
Mhm.
Will you miss those battles with South Cobb? And what are your thoughts on Kale and Wheeler now being in 6A?
Well, I'm going to tell you, the last 4 years have been tough and a lot of fun. Okay, because you got to remember, I came in. This is my 5th year this is my 35th year coaching. Okay, this is my 5th year at Sequoia. When I took over at Sequoia, we were 3-23. Okay, so we got our brains beat in by Allatoona, South Cobb, Sprayberry, Harrison, you know, Osborne, you know. We just got our brains beat in. We got a little bit better that second year. We went 14-14. Third year, you know, Jackson Greco, Donovan Shipp, Miles McGee, DJ Robinson, Khalid Slum, Aiden Watson, they all become juniors and seniors. And you know, we go 22-8, beat North Atlanta on the road. You know, last year, you know, we made the Elite 8, which is the farthest Sequoia's ever advanced in school history. So do I wish I was in that region? I wish I did for the competition because I love competition.
Yeah.
I look at the new region in. I mean, heck, we got the defending state champion in. They beat us out last year.
100%.
You know, I mean, we've got good teams in this region. I mean,
Centennial really good
River
too.
Ridge is going to have one of the best teams they've ever had. Creekview is good, and then you go Chattahoochee, Centennial, Cambridge, Johns Creek, Riverwood. I mean, okay, again, we went from the fire to the smoke. You know, I mean, so, but to answer your question, yeah, look, I would love to be able to play Kell and Wheeler and South Cobb and Allatoona and Kennesaw Mountain and those teams we've had and everything, because it prepared you for the state tournament. And like I say that because look what we did. You know, Sequoia's, you know, has never made it that far. They've, you know, Sweet 16, Elite 8 the last 2 years, and except for a bad quarter against Chattahoochee, who was really, really good. You know, they outplayed us in the first quarter. Then we played better than them, but we were too far behind. They go on and win a state championship. Who knows if that couldn't have been us if we could have got past them. So playing in that region in the last few years has prepared us for the state tournament. I feel like this is going to be the same way. Remember, we're matched up with that region. We're matched up with that guy. So are we going to be playing South Cobb in the first round of state tournament? Probably. That's the way fate is. You know, that's the way fate is. You know, I mean,
yeah,
so,
yeah.
That'll be fine too. You know,
I'm looking at your schedule, and there's definitely some games that I got circled for sure. That River Ridge game. River Ridge has got some talent. They got some size. I love to see, you know, you guys play. You know, can they keep up with you, or will they be able to slow the game down and use their size advantage? That's a game that I got circled that I definitely want to see. Of course, you guys playing Chattahoochee twice against the defending state champions. That's one that's circled, or two games are circled that I want to see. Centennial is going to be really, really good. That's another game that I want to see. Man, it's going to be some battles. I think me and Locke kind of have been saying that, hey, 6A might be better than 7A this year. What's your thoughts on that, Coach?
Well, you know, obviously we're going to say that, you know, 7A would not agree with that. You know, but remember, each classification thinks they've got good, because there's just good teams from top to bottom all the way down to private schools and everything. So basketball is basketball. Remember, it's not like football where you need the numbers. Basketball is not a numbers game. You got 5 kids that can play. You know, you can compete at every level. You know, you look at Sharman over there at Pace, which what is AA or AAA? AA, I think. I mean, they, you know, their starting 5 is can compete with anybody in 6A or 7A. You know, we may in 6A and 7A, especially 7A, you may have a little bit deeper bench than a AA or AAA team. But that don't mean your players are that much better than their starting 5. You know, you got more kids to choose from. But basketball is basketball. You get a group that wants to work and get better and play, and you know, you can go 8 or 9 deep. You know, look, we go 9 deep. You know, and I'll play number 10 if I need to. You know, some players some coaches only play 5 or 6. So it's you know, it's just according to where you're at. You can have good basketball anywhere. And this region we're in, holy smokes, it's going to be tough. You know, the thing about it, there's no clear cut, oh, this is the best team. Now, obviously, we all think Chattahoochee is going to be really good with the little hibachi, A.J. White, who's so good, you know, but, you know, Centennial's got good players, and Cambridge has got good players. Riverwood's got, I mean, look what Creekview and number 1 can be just as good as number 8 can be just as good as number 1 in our region. So there's a little bit of difference in that other region with South Cobb and Cale, and you know, there's 4 teams that are a lot better than the other 5. You know, and I think they would all admit that. In ours, you can't do that. I mean, you know, we could have a really, really good team and a good season and still finish 6th. You know, or win a few close games and you finish 1st or 2nd. So, you know, it's a toss up, and everybody believes that too. You know, and there's good coaching in it.
Very tough region. Go ahead, Locke.
No, so I knew y'all lost to Chattahoochee in the Elite 8. I was just wondering what you think y'all could have did different to win that game.
So you know, and I'm one that goes back and watches the games over and over. So I've watched that about 6 times, and truthfully, we've played a very good game, and it's what we talked about when we first started talking. You know what Chattahoochee did? They put the ball on the hole. Okay. They made 4 threes in the first half or the first quarter. They scored 23 points. We got into the lane. We missed some wide open shots. We missed some layups around the rim. 22-11 to start the first quarter. You know, so it stayed there. You know, we cut it to 5 or 6 all during the game. You need to get off to a better start. And like I said before, you got to make shots. You know, we got everything we wanted, and we did what we wanted to do defensively. But what's the great equalizer? You guys saw, Dre, you saw that the other night. What's the great equalizer? Knocking down shots.
Knocking down that 3-ball, yeah, for sure.
Chattahoochee come out, you know, they're on the home floor playing under, you know, that crazy crowd they had and everything. Knock down shots. my kids battled. They played hard. We got back into the game, and they kept fighting, but it was just too big a hill to climb. Go back one game against Richmond Hill on the road. We're on the road in a hostile crowd, huge environment, 1,600 people in the gym, and they all cheering against us. And our guys were cold-blooded. I mean, they knocked down shots. They defended. Game was a 6 or 7 point game, but we never really lost control of it. And just, we made shots, Dylan Wool's a sophomore, comes off the bench in the Sweet 16 at Richmond Hill and scores 11 points. Jackson Greco did his thing. Diamond Ship did his thing. Aiden Watson played great. Dylan Woolley comes off. Nobody knows about him. Makes 3 threes and a 2. We won going around. He don't do that. Maybe we don't go that far. So, again, it goes back to making shots. It was Chattahoochee's year last year. Chris Short is an underrated coach. He's a lot better than people give him credit for, and it's just because he's not as loud and abrasive as I am, I guess. But he's a good dude. He's a good coach, man. Those kids play hard for him.
Coach, you mentioned this is your 35th year coaching basketball. We were just talking earlier in the show about Georgia having so many prospects going to the NBA. We've seen it year over year over year. It seems like we have somebody from Georgia get drafted. Can you talk a little bit about what you've seen change in Georgia over the years that you've been coaching?
Well, I've coached 25 years in Georgia and 10 years in Florida. Okay, I had 10 years in Florida. And my sons played for me while I was in Florida, and I was in Florida from 2000. I coached at Pinellas Park High School and Clearwater High School.
Okay.
Yeah, and really enjoyed at Clearwater High School. Went to the state championship in 08, I think. O'Carl White played for me, who played at Florida State. Played with the Cavs and the Wizards, and I think he's actually overseas now, but he's had a really nice career. 6'9" kid. But like I say, went over there. But I'll tell you the biggest difference in Florida and Georgia kids and why it's changed a little bit. Because when I went to Florida, it's a little bit more like the Wild West. You can coach your kids in the off season. There's no limit on when your season's over, you can still keep coaching your kids under the guises of AAU. Every year, we would play in a league and then we'd play in the summer. And I'll give you a great example of that. The senior year that O'Carl was, which was 08, my son also played for me, my middle son, who ended up going to Dallas Baptist University. But we played, by the time the season was over until it came back, we played 135 games, okay, in the off season. All right. Wow. You can't do that in Georgia. Okay.
No.
Now, absolutely. Now we're in Georgia, it's all good. You can work with them and you can condition them and everything. But we basically, you can do 4-on-1s. We basically got from June now with a week being added, we've got from June the 7th to June the 27th. Because I think it was Coach Washington that I heard that really was talking about embracing the AAU. I'm the same way. I try to go watch my kids play. I try to go watch everybody play. And as I said, I'm still a 57-year-old gym rat. Okay, so I still love being in the gym, watching my kids play. Yep. But this summer we'll try to play a regular season, a 30-game season, because I think that's the way the kids better. So I really try to get all our kids playing AAU ball, get them playing travel ball, and have a relationship with those travel ball coaches. Okay, and not just, hey, you got my kids. I talk with them, and I kind of tell them, hey, if my kid is not getting a rebound and putting it under his chin, you need to get on him about doing that. If he's not squaring up the ball, they don't get to play different in their travel ball with their travel coaches than what they do. Now, still, that guy's coaching them, whoever's coaching them. I'm not going to tell him how to coach, but certain fundamental things Sequoia kids are supposed to do. And I just think also think it's important to be there for the kids. to go watch them, to see that they're there and show that you support them. But I also go because I love basketball, and that has a little bit of this. I got to get my fix because it kills me us not getting the time that we have. I made a comment, and Coach, you understand that with your kid at Marietta. Marietta didn't get a chance to play many fall league games, and
No,
I
they
talked with Coach Hood.
Yeah.
We played in 3 leagues. Now, we've got 25 games going into the season where Marietta's playing their first one. That has to make a difference. And now again, I'm not coaching them, and I'm not. They're even when they go play in the fall league, they're drawing from what we've done in the past. Because the coaches that are there are doing a good job with them, but it's still they're your team. They're still not doing the things that you're going to do during the season. So
I like what we got in Marietta. I think we're gonna be able to work out the kinks, and we'll have Coach Hood is gonna come on the show, man. It won't be. I think we're supposed to have him Sunday, but we're gonna have to reschedule for Sunday. I think it's gonna be next week, but we'll get to have him on too, and enjoy having Coach Hood on as well. But I think it's gonna work out. Kids gotta adjust, like you're saying, from playing AAU to playing school ball. Jelani Reynolds, one of the kids that played AAU for me, found himself in foul trouble early. I think that's a adjustment between how they call a high school game versus how they officiate an AAU game. It's a little bit different. Get to be a little more aggressive playing AAU. So I think Jelani and the rest of those guys, everybody will adjust and they'll be in good shape.
First of all, I'm going to tell you, Marcus Hood's a great coach. He's a great guy. He'll have a great relationship with those kids and everything. And like I told you, I'm sitting there watching Marietta warm up, and I'm going, holy smokes, man! Look at these guys, look at these athletes. And they're doing their layup lines, and I kind of look down there at my guys and say, oh gosh, I hope we can hang. And and again, I'm not trying to be arrogant or anything, but I mean, everything does make a big difference. And Marcus is a good coach, and y'all got good players. You got great facilities. Remember, my really good buddy Derek DeWitt is the girls' coach there. He was with me at Sequoia, and Derek's a great guy. Derek gave me the greatest compliment that anybody's ever given me. And he said, if you take a knife and cut Coach Carden open, little orange basketballs would fall out and run around everywhere. And I said, Derek, you're right, man. You're right. And because we used to have spirited talks about basketball and everything.
I like that, Coach. And my thing is, even going back to what you were saying about attending AAU events, I feel like, I've talked to some coaches that feel like, well, I don't want anybody to think I'm recruiting and this, that, and the third. And I was like, man, guys that just love the game, man, we all sit there and hang out with each other and talk ball during those AAU events, man. Ain't nobody's thinking about recruiting kids, man. Like, we're there just enjoying the game. So
I feel like that's an excuse, Andre, that they use.
I've always say, your program recruits itself. Okay. And, I think there's two things. I think it's important to be seen at that because just like you said, I've met so many great people in AAU and travel ball because I go see so many of them. I mean, you just develop that relationship. And you got to remember all my kids grew up playing travel ball. This is no lie. They did a story on me and my wife when I was in Florida. When Cam was a senior, Corey was a sophomore, Cody's in the 8th grade, and my daughter's in 6th grade. And they had a reporter follow us around because we was in Florida. They had us follow us around, and we drove from Orlando to Tampa to Clearwater to St. Pete, like from a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and put in over 1,000 miles and saw 16 games in 3 days. And I loved every minute of it, and I thought it was cool too, because we were getting to see those games and get watched and watch our kids play, remember they were all at different ages and everything and playing those times. So I've always embraced it and wanted to see it and everything and enjoy seeing it. And I'm like y'all, sometimes you go to travel ball games and it's bad basketball. Okay, it's bad basketball. But you know, sometimes you go to high school games and see bad basketball. You know, you got to remember if the travel coach, there's some really sharp minds, you know, with our AAU coaches too. But let them practice their kids 5 days a week or 6 days. You know, that's why my kids knew today. You know, they said, "Coach, we're not playing next week. That means we practice." Yeah, we practice because I'm a practicing fool. Okay, we're gonna practice all the time. So with GHSA giving us 2 more weeks of practice, you know, we're moving it back. You know, remember they moved it up, then they moved it back to where it was.
Yep.
So I actually I feel we were able to have a lot more time because usually it's, you know, 8 days and you're playing games. You know, you got to remember, you go to some of these travel ball teams, they get to practice them 2 days a week, maybe hour and a half, split in the gym. You know, they're lucky if they get that and everything. So
it's a lot of drawing it up on the clipboard and putting guys in position and trying to teach them on the fly. A lot of that, man. I just as you saying that, man, I'm thinking about, you know, what we're able to do at Marietta. Was like, oh man, if we could do that for AAU, man, like we, you know, but that relationship is so important. But I want to show some love to some of your kids, Coach.
Okay.
You know, we talked about some of those guys, but we want to show some plays. I got a pretty good clip of Aiden that kind of shows people the type of kid that they're gonna get if they get him on campus, man. I agree with you, Coach. Somebody needs to come and take a chance on this kid. Here we go.
Let's see. This is against Sprayberry. Yeah, this is crazy. Watch this dunk. Hey,
watch
you know something?
your head.
And the referee called a push off on him. that
Really?
was an offensive foul. They called an offensive foul. This ain't an offensive foul. This is a dunk on your head, is what that is.
Yeah.
You know?
And he jumped. Hey, man, that kid jumped. Hey, listen. You don't want, hey, man, that kid, Aiden, is one of the most, for a guy that's so explosive. Normally, those guys is highlights everywhere, it's this and it's that. He's still kind of flying under the radar, man. We talking about a kid that windmills and all this stuff too, Coach.
Well, but look, let me tell you why. Okay, remember, Aiden has came on and played with. Well, first of all, let's talk about high school. Aiden came on and played with us, so he's playing in the shadows of Jackson Greco, Donovan Ship, Miles McGee. Okay. And he was our fourth, sometimes our fifth option because DJ Robinson even made a big stride last year, our 6'5" kid. Okay. Yep. And then, you know, and he does some really good things, had some real good games, but they were overshadowed by him. I mean, he was overshadowed by them. Put him on that Hype Hawks team, and he was one of their best players. But look, who's getting all the love on that? Matthew Cleveland, Cole Middleton, Sutton Smith, Logan Turner. All those guys right there, and Aiden's out there doing all the dirty work, doing all the, you know, playing defense, getting offensive rebounds, sticking them back in the hole, you know, running the floor, doing all the little things. So, you know, that's one of the reasons that I've really tried to hype him up, and that's why it's just killing me right now. It's killing him because now it's his senior year, and he's the one thing you saw us playing. He's the one thing we really don't have is that athletic guy that can guard anybody from 1 through 5 that you can put on the point guard and let him guard the ball all the way down the floor, or you can let him front the post, you know, and then plus he runs the floor so well. And remember, he's a big guy. I can play him at guard too. I was going to play him a lot at guard this year because remember, I've got 4 guys I can play inside, you know, so.
College coaches, I'm going to tell you something. That play that we just showed him dunking on that kid is not a fluke. Reach out to me. I have more highlights of him doing just that.
Hey,
that is his game.
That's not even his best highlight. Remember, he's 360'd in a game last year against Dolphin.
Yes,
you know,
I remember that.
He 360'd in a game in transition, and we all just went, "Wait a minute," you know. And I mean, you know, and
that one made it to Twitter a lot.
Yeah, and you know, we back screened for him quite a bit for some dunks and threw him up. And, you know, you got to remember Donovan Ship's the all-time assist leader at Sequoia, and he threw a lot. And he was a good alley-oop thrower. We had some plays set up, and Aiden dunked 38 times last year. He had 38 dunks, and he missed 5 games with a concussion early in the year. So, I mean, he could have had even more. I mean, and Aiden's one of those that can, pick up the ball underneath the goal and go straight up dunk with 2 hands, or he can run and dunk off 1 foot, or he can stop, bounce, go off 2 feet and dunk with 2 hands or 1 hand, both left-handed or right-handed. So he's got a wide variety of dunks. Now he's grounded right now because he can't even jump that high yet because of his back. But man, we got to get him well. He's still 3 more weeks away from another evaluation. And I mean, he is the best glorified, most athletic manager for us right now. I mean, he sits over and shoots some free throws, does some ball handling drills, and runs the clock.
I know he kills me. He can't wait to play. He can't wait to play. Big piece for you guys. I'm gonna show some more highlights. I got some highlights of Dylan, of course. And these are fun. Coaches understand what you're gonna get. To me, these spell out perfectly what type of player that Dylan is. And these are highlights from last year, and he's definitely gotten a lot better. Had a great summer, lit it up on the circuit this year. And judging by Tuesday night, he's gonna keep it rolling. So this is Dylan Wally. Oh, fake. Get him up. Knockdown. Net don't even move, man. Gotta unmute yourself, coach. Bang. Deep. Young Dylan, a worker, man.
Played very well and everything. But remember, and you saw him the other night, his body has changed a lot because, remember, he was a sophomore. You got to remember, he played JV as a freshman for my son Cam and averaged 23 points a game and made 71 3-pointers in 18 JV games as a freshman. So he was ready to come up and play varsity basketball last year. Now, he was set a lot last year because his defense was weak, and sometimes he wouldn't shoot the ball because he would defer to the older kids until he got set a couple of times because, he wouldn't shoot the ball, and then he got aggressive and everything. So,
Dylan, the only thing Dylan doesn't have right now, coach, is a nickname. We got to give Dylan a nickname, coach. We'll figure it out this year. Watch a few more games. We got to give him a nickname.
That's a good point right there. I'm gonna have to come up with something on that. He's such a good kid, man. I'm gonna tell you, I have to loosen him up sometimes because he's serious about his game. I mean, guys, you just, and I'm so glad I'm getting to tell his story a little bit. Yeah. Dylan works at the Shooter's Nest. Okay, perfect place for him to work at. So. He's over there in the morning getting 300, 400 shots up on the guns. He comes in on Wednesdays and Fridays. They don't work out. They come in and shoot in the gym. So he's always there early in the morning getting shots up. I have to get to the school early so he can get his shots up. He always stays after practice, Matter of fact, as we're speaking right now, he's over at Lake Point with training with somebody, right now, and we counted up one day he had a 1,500 shot day. Okay. Now everybody says, oh, you got a 15. Do you realize how much time and effort you got to put in to get in 1,500 shots during the day and go to school? And remember, he takes all AP classes. He's a 4.3 GPA. After our game the other night, it was his birthday Tuesday. And after that, he went out with he's an all-American kid, okay? He went out to milkshakes with his girlfriend and his family, and then goes home and does hour and a half of homework, and then is right back at school on time because we're face to face. Just I can't say enough good things about when college coaches call me. And remember, he's got nearly 22 people that are interested in now. He's already got 4 offers as a junior. And every time I almost do these coaches really believe what I'm saying? Because he's a coach's dream. I said you're gonna love him and everything. So I think he I think he reminds me a lot of Tyler Hero that plays for the played at Kentucky for 1 year. And I've said stuff like you've got the work ethic that who says you can't go to Kentucky next year? Who says that? It may not happen, but he's got to have a dream. Who says that you can't go for a year or two and then be in the league somewhere because Tyler Hero did it? Now, we want to be realistic because the great thing about Dylan is, remember, he's going to go 4 years to a really good school and he's going to get a degree. He's going to be a successful businessman and he's going to make a lot of money someday.
I agree.
So,
he's one of those kids. Every time I watch him play, I feel like he's efficient, and I walk away saying that even Tuesday night, I feel like he could have shot more. I don't. He's not one of those kids that he's got a hot name. So a lot of times when you go see those kids that have a hot name, you see them take a lot of bad shots or they force a few shots, and we kind of like, oh well, he's the guy, so you're gonna see him force a few. I don't feel like he really forces a lot of shots. I feel like he could have shot 10 more times in that game Tuesday night, probably.
Well, and Dre, that's a really good observation. And one of the reasons he gets those efficient shots because, again, I don't think he's given enough props for his athletic ability because he can get in the lane and elevate. He really gets up on his jump shot. He's like a lot of kids in high school. Sometimes from the 3-point line, it's more of a set shot, but he's able to get in the lane, and plus, he goes the hole pretty well. I mean, he's strong around the rim and he knows how to finish and everything. But I mean, his just like Jackson Greco, his best thing was catch and shoot threes because he's put in a ton of time on the gun. He's put in a ton of time making that and everything. And like I say, that. And again, I got to be careful what I say here, but I mean, you want your skill level to get up. I mean, that's what we work on. That's the reason our kids are so skilled. That's the reason we can play with the people we do is because we put so much emphasis on skill work, and finishing at the rim and not just being a shooter, but being able to make moves around the rim, know how to Euro step, know how to hop step, know how to spin, know how to create space, do those kind of things.
Coach, we'll say it for you. We only invite high major coaches on this show. So the fact that you're here, we know Coach is high major. So if you want to get better, we invite the coaches that can help you get better on our show. Now, Coach may not say it, but we'll say it for him. If you want to get better, you want to be a skill guy, you want the skills pay the bills, you want to understand how to shoot that ball, how to put it in the hole, you want to play for a coach that wants to score 100 points a game. Hey, we giving it to you. We laying out the roadmap for you.
Hey,
giving you the recipe.
Some guys. I'm going to tell you what. I want to tell you what I'm the most proud about. Okay, and I've with Jackson signing at Mercer last year. Yep. Jackson was the 93rd kid that has played for me that's went on to play. Not college basketball, but college athletics. So a couple of those have been football kids and baseball kids, but mostly basketball kids.
Yeah.
And and I say that to brag about it because I'm proud of it. Okay, I'm very, very proud of it. I realize I've been coaching a long time. I heard you ask Coach McDaniel what his best memory of basketball was.
Yep.
And he had to think for a minute, and I'm going to flat out tell you, my best memory is coaching my kids, coaching my sons. Okay. I coached, my most favorite year was my son, Cam, who's also my assistant coach. His senior year, when he was a senior, when Corey, my middle son, was a sophomore, when Cody was in the 8th grade and kept the score, kept the film, the video, and my daughter was a 4th grader and was our little manager, and we went to the Final Four that year. We beat Clearwater 3 times, and then the next year I was the Clearwater coach. And we went to state championship the next year with my middle son coming over to Clearwater. So he went from Pinellas Park to Clearwater. Cam is the all-time leading scorer at Pinellas Park. Corey, if Corey my son Corey walked into the gym and y'all were having a pickup game, he would be the last one picked. But he was the most important player on every single team he played because he was a great teammate and he was a great point guard and he played with great players and he averaged 7.7 assists and got a full ride scholarship to Jacksonville Junior College, then on into Dallas Baptist. Married a little Texas gal, and we don't see him about 3 times a year now. The point being is, and I also got to coach my younger son, Cody, who went to Reinhardt, and coaches over at North Cobb. And then I got to coach my daughter for 2 years. I coached girls for 2 years at Sprayberry, and I got to coach her for 2 years, So, I got to coach all my sons. So the greatest memory I've had of coaching basketball over 35 years is having the opportunity to coach my sons. And that also corresponds with the most success I've had too, most wins, most championships and everything. I don't know if there's a coincidence or a correlation between your kids playing for you and you being successful. It is a lot different now, because now the last couple of years I don't have my sons playing for me. But remember my son Cam, who I give a whole lot of credit for the skill work here. My son Cam played at Lincoln Memorial, and if you guys know anything about Division II basketball, that is high level. High level. And Cam played for Josh Church there, and was a great player. And like I said, Corey played at Dallas Baptist, Cody played at Reinhardt, and Colby played a year at Reinhardt also too. So. That's my greatest basketball memories and what I'll take in. And guys, what I was saying is, this is year 35, but I'm not finished. I still, my passion for coaching is still very high. I told you see why something like this, I can't wait till somewhere down the road say, y'all, you need, when this pandemic is over, hey, you need to come on the staff, or you need to come on the set. I don't want to be on your staff. I want to be on your set, so we don't have 100%. To do that.
Coach, it's been a great time, man. We appreciate you making time for us. Appreciate you having you on, man. It's been good. I love watching your teams play, so can't wait to watch you guys this season and see how this group ends up, man. A very, very special group. So we're definitely keeping our eyes on you, Coach.
Thank you so much. And again, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you guys letting me come on, let me talk about the things that I love. That being basketball, my kids, and then that's the things in that my priorities in order. It's faith, family, and basketball. And we try to keep those in order. And there's not a day that goes by. My kids will tell you I don't tell them how much I love them, and I have to tell them that because I'm so tough on them during practice and everything. But guys, I can't thank you enough for letting me come on, and can't wait till the next time. And please, anytime you want to come see a practice, man, you guys are always well. I don't have closed practices. My practices are always open. Parents come and watch my practice. You know, they can't say anything to their kids, but they're more than welcome to come. But now, if you come, you know, I may put you feeding the post or somebody, or running our transition drills.
Hey, Coach, we
can't
all
put Dre in their drills, Coach. I don't think Dre ready for none of your drills, Coach.
now, Coach, I'm an AAU guy, so every practice I go to, I steal something and use it for my team. So if you come by one of our AAU practices and you see something that looks familiar, we won't talk about it.
Hey, listen, Dre, the legacy runs our whole system. Watch the legacy. I mean, Coach Fitzwater runs everything. And it's not because of Coach Fitzwater. It's because of Dylan and Fisher at the time said, no, we're going to teach you our offense, you know. So,
Good stuff.
You know, so remember what basketball and coaching is. Everybody steals from everybody, okay? Everybody knows our offense and knows our secondary break. I don't care. You know, Coach, and I know we're about finished, but I can tell you that, you know, every summer we'll go and we'll play somebody, and there'll be a coach come up to me and say, Coach, will you draw that offense up for me? I really like that, you know, and I don't have any secrets. So, you know, I'm not guarded about that. And, you know, I mean, and it's big time. You know, for instance, 2 summers ago when we had the big NCAA team camp that's put on, do you remember that? Where we were playing? Hey, I had Coach Pastner from Georgia Tech and said, Coach, I love that offense, man. Can you draw that up for me? We can't just run high screens against Duke and North Carolina. We got to have some continuity. So, you know, I drew that up for him and everything. So, and even low, you know, so that's what coaching is. It's borrowing from people. It's stealing from people. You know, I scour the internet too, and I scour Twitter and Instagram and stuff to see what I can pick up, because if I find something, I'll put up. And like I say, after 35 years, I got a whole bunch stored up. You know, I have to put it away. You know, so don't have to.
No doubt. That's our show for tonight, family. We appreciate y'all tuning in and rocking out with us. It is 8:00. We're gonna go and enjoy some music. So we're gonna go and enjoy watching Young Jeezy and Gucci and those guys play their records and celebrate some hip hop history tonight. We'll see who comes out of that, and y'all can check back in with us right after the battle. But Coach Carter, we love having you on. Like I said, we'll look forward to watching you guys play, finish out the rest of the season, compete for that region championship.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it, guys. Go Chiefs.
The Love the Game podcast. Good night, guys.
Thank you.
Good night.